We're upstairs in the Microsoft booth here at E3 with Dan, who's the executive producer on the Halo series, and more specifically Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, something I think fans have been waiting for.
Yeah, you know, actually you hit it bang on, right? The reason we're doing this game is this is something fans have been asking us to do for a really long time, right? And you know, 343 is really excited to be able to give this gift to them. This is something we're really excited about. We know the community's getting excited about. And the idea was, you know, hey, it's the 10th anniversary of the release of the first Halo. We need to do something big to celebrate it, and this game's a big part of that.
So it's been a while since the first Halo, obviously 10 years, and a lot of Halo fans today, they weren't around back then. They didn't play video games back then, and no one's experienced it online except for, you know, something that you could do on the side. There wasn't an Xbox Live at those days. So what does it mean for you guys to bring that experience to the new era of Halo fans?
No, it's interesting. You hit the issue right on the nose, right? Obviously, we want this to be a gift for people who've played the game already, but there's also an entire generation of gamers that have never played it in its, you know, maybe at all, much less in its original state. Because, you know, if you're a 15-year-old gamer now, you were 5 when this game came out, and you know may have never had a chance to experience that as it was 10 years ago. So obviously we spent a major amount of time turning it into a modern game. Graphical upgrades, audio upgrades, bunch of new features. But at its core, we wanted to let gamers relive the experience of playing the game for the first time as it was 10 years ago. I mean, Halo's the game that changed gaming forever, right? I mean, you had a lot of people like myself. I was a hardcore PC shooter guy who said, you're never going to get me to play a shooter on the console. And Halo changed that for me. And it's the same for millions and millions of people. But, I mean, one of the ways we're actually letting people relive the experience of what it was like 10 years ago is Classic Mode. What Classic Mode is, it's something we're really happy with. At the touch of a button, at any point during the campaign, you can go back to the classic graphics and see how the game looked 10 years ago. And you can come back. You can go back and forth as many times as you want. And it's really a magical feature. It's fantastic to see how far gaming has come. But, you know, you also get that ability to go back and, you know, be nostalgic a bit and say, hey, this is how it looked back in the day. But yeah, in addition to that, you know, now we've got 2-player co-op over live. We've got, you know, you can play split screen. Terminals are getting a makeover. Terminals look fantastic now, what we're doing with them. And, you know, again, of course, there's Classic Mode as well, and a host of other features we're going to be announcing as we get closer to Halo Fest in August. And obviously, multiplayer has been a big portion for that as well. You know, multiplayer's getting a facelift. We've taken some of the favorite maps, you know, from the first series, and you can go into those and see that, oh my God, those things look incredible. We've been showing Damnation, and the response to that has been terrific at how different it looks, how much better it looks. And of those 7 maps we're releasing, one of them is going to be a firefight as well, so people are going to have a chance to mix things up a little bit.
So for me, I think the pivotal moment in the first Halo game was, you know, just the impact that I felt when the start of Silent Cartographer, and I think that's an experience that I haven't experienced it a lot. And could you just detail a little bit about the different epic moments of the game and how this new take on it changes it?
Yeah, Halo, you know, Silent Cartographer, which we showed today, is definitely an extremely famous level. Everyone always enjoyed that. It was really fresh, it was new, it was exciting. All of that original gameplay is still there, but it's much more deep, it's much more intense. I mean, the graphics obviously make it feel a lot more immersive. The new audio does the same thing. So those high impact moments that you remember from the original Halo are amplified. They're even more immersive, they're even more powerful. There's a deeper emotional connection than you had the first time because we're able to take advantage of the tools that we have available to us, you know, today as game developers that weren't available 10 years ago.
When it comes to movies and things like that, when you make a remake or you touch up an old movie, there's always that director has a little bit sticky fingers. He wants to get in, maybe change a little bit about the story or add something or remove something. Is that temptation too great for you guys, or are you keeping like Halo as it is?
Yeah, though, another great question. We had huge arguments, shouting matches, all those things because, yeah, you know, there's an opportunity to maybe correct some things and change some things. But no, at its core, we wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to play this game identical to how it was 10 years ago. That being said, although we're not talking too much about it at E3, you're going to hear more in the coming months of ways where, you know, tools we're giving the player to maybe change that gameplay a little bit if they want to. But for the person that wants to play it exactly as it was 10 years ago, you can do that as well.
Because I think one of the things about the first game was that everything was so mysterious. you didn't get a lot of answers there. You got them later on in the series, but it was just that the aliens were just weird, and you didn't know what to expect, and the flood came, and all those kind of things were just sort of like fresh for you. Is that sort of the feeling that you want to maintain for this as well?
Yeah, we want to maintain Halo is a magical title, right? And it, like no other title at the time, and arguably since, has something grabbed people and sucked it in as much as Halo did. So we definitely want to maintain that magic. In fact, we want to enhance that magic using the tools we have at our disposal today. People seeing the game are just losing their minds. Everyone's loving classic mode. The fan response from beginning at E3 has been spectacular. So we're really feeling like, the community feels like we've listened to them, and we have. The community is the most important thing we've got, right? The community has supported Halo and grown Halo and been responsible for its success, and it was really important for us to make sure we gave this back to them.
You mentioned before we started this interview that the price point will be a little bit lower, but will you treat it just as any other retail release when it comes to downloadable content down the line and such things?
So yeah, we're coming out November 15th, which is 10 years from the launch of the original title, at $39.99. And we're only at the tip of the iceberg of what's going to be in that package. As we come to Halo Fest in August, we're going to say how we're going to be supporting this game, other things that are going to be coming out, additional features that are going to be in the game. So you should stay tuned, because this is literally the tip of the iceberg, and we've got some really awesome things planned for the anniversary.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Halo. It's finished.
No, I think we're just getting started.